On this one, yes, no, maybe, better than before. So where are we still getting hung up a little?
The inputs.
The inputs. Okay, the radio input. Okay, cool. What else are we hung up on? All right, well let's go for it. Let's go through it. So we know we're going to need state, right? So I'm going to go ahead and import use state. Do I need use effect? Will I need it? How come I won't need it? None of these life cycle methods, right? So I'm not going to use that. Great. I'm going to go ahead and use that custom hook I built earlier as well because that handled like just a basic input, and we have a few of those. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as well. So I'm going to import or use input. Remember, this is not built into React. This is something we wrote today. Custom hook. Okay. And let's start updating our application here. Where's my mouse? There. So we'll say const. And we've got our form, no longer extending component, but instead, it's now an arrow. Let's break up our state into a series of states, right? So I'm going to say const. And so I'm going to use my input for first name and last name for sure. So that's going to give me back an object. So I'm just going to call that first name for now. It is an object. I know that. Hopefully you know that too now. And I'm going to say use input. I'm going to give it its initial starting value. It's empty. I'm going to do the same thing for my last name. Right? I still did the S. Darn it. Can we use input for any of the other ones? Marvin? Favorite flavor? Yeah, right. Favorite flavors are select. It's got the same handle change listener. It's not doing too much else. It's got taking in the value. It's projecting the value. I'd say it has the exact same behavior. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for favorite flavor as well, and give that its initial input of chocolate. So I want it to be the exact same as it was prior. Can I use input for anything else, or do I want to? I could probably use it for pizza, but I'm dealing with this checked and not checked and value. So it feels a little different, so I'm just not going to. I think you definitely can make it work. I saw it in some of your projects. For this one, I just think it'll be easier for me not to do that. And let's go ahead and use our use state for the rest. So const, I will say agree, set agree. That's going to be use state, and that starts as false. Right, and we'll do the same thing again for pizza, which honestly that name doesn't make any sense. I think that was just part of like the end of class example. Pizza, and this starts off as a big old yes, please. Okay, so that's now our new state. It's around the same amount of lines that we had before, but now we also have all these functions. So it's an okay trade.
It's the false wrong.
Great. Thank you for that. You guys are still awake. I'm super pumped about that. Okay, so handle change. Do I need handle change anymore? No, because my handle input already has a handle change. So anything that's using handle change, I'm already taking care of. I think except for the pizza one, but I'll just write a little one on the spot. So I'll get rid of that. Handle agree. I need this, yeah? So I have to turn this into a function. So const. Instead of this.setState, what should I be calling? Set agree. Just like before, we can also pass in a function into this if I'm referring to an older thing. So I'll just call this like previous agree. And I'm not going to return an object anymore. I'm going to return the next instance of agree. So just going to write it like that. Which, I mean, really we can make that even shorter if we want, right?
Quick question.
Yep.
So can't we do the set agree in the actual input?
In the use input, the custom hook.
Yeah.
The custom hook we designed was to just take a handle change and assign it to the event.target. Handle agree doesn't do that. It flips the sign. So it's a different type of function. So our hook's not set up to do that. We could write a hook like that's like toggle state kind of hook, but we didn't write that. Yeah.
So the handle change that was in custom hook.
Oh, this shouldn't be previous. Dot agree. This should just be previous. Sorry, what?
No, you're fine. That handle change you made in the custom hook. So that's controlling the state for the first name, last name, the favorite flavor, and the pizza, right?
Yep,
And then the agree is just its own separate handle agree function.
that's right.
So
Okay.
do you need the handle agree function?
But yeah, because I need to be able to agree or disagree. I need that to be able to toggle.
So on change, you can't just set agree to previous agree and return.
On change, I will call handle agree. I just can't use input. Use input was a very specific custom hook. Let's take a look at it. Use input had this is how it's setting its value. E.target.value. Handle agree does not do that. Handle agree toggles. It does the opposite of what it was already. It's not looking at an event target or value. So because this is how this hook is set up that we wrote, we can't use it for our form because this is doing something different in the on change. We could extrapolate it into its own custom hook, but I think it'd be overkill for this.
Could you export more functions in that hook file?
Yes, definitely. That we would just, if I wanted to import more than one thing, it'd be this and then the next function. Good question. Okay, so we still have our handle submit. We don't need to pull these things out. We have a this.props.history. Where's that coming from? That's coming from our route, remember? So in our app.js, we had our form and we did component and pointed it to the form. If you remember, I mentioned that this was the older way of writing it. So we shouldn't write it like that anymore. Instead, it needs to be written like so, right? Where we take this and we make it like that. Okay, right? So now it's nested. So now we definitely don't have that prop coming in. It's not given to us. So how do we get it? How are we going to get access to that history? Yeah, Marvin. Not yet. Right. So Marvin says there's a use history prop that's attached to, a use history hook that's attached to React Router DOM. So let's go ahead and import that. So we'll say use history from React Router DOM. Great. So now we have a use history. I'm not going to put it inside of the submit because our hooks should be called on the top level. So instead I'll say const history and invoke use history. That's going to give us that same thing we used to have when we would say this.props.history. But now I can just say history.push. First name is what? What data type right now? It's an object, right? Remember coming in, so I have to say first name dot value. Handle submit should also be a function. I'll say cons. If I wanted to still print this, I'd say dot value. Dot value. Render. Do we need a render anymore? Nope. And all of these things we're taking from state, we actually now have variables for. So I can just cut this line as well. And cut this line. Let's go ahead and get rid of the closing curly brace for our render. Okay. So we're getting closer here. On submit, what do we can now do on submit? Just handle submit. Perfect. Right? We no longer have our this. Input, we have a value, a name, on change. I have something for this already. We called it first name. Same thing with last name, right? This is coming in from our custom hook, which is allowing us to do this. Just destructuring that, given all of those methods. Favorite flavor ice cream, same thing. So I can just remove that, dot favorite flavor. Nothing has to change there. We've got our input for checked for our pizza on change. So we don't have a handle change anymore, so we have to update this. So if they click this, then we know that we want to set it to yes. So I'm just going to say set pizza to yes. Yep. So I could use an event, but I'm not actually using the event for anything. I think I could do event.target.value if you wanted instead, right? I could also just say e.target.value. Pretty sure that works the same. I'm going to copy that line and paste it right here. Our agree, we now just have handle agree. And that's our whole form. Let's see if it works. So we go over, I go to our form. Form looks pretty much the same as it looked before. Let's try Corey Ladovsky, whatever that says. We'll agree. We can change things. Let's make sure everything still works. Hit submit, should take us to Corey. Everything still works. But it's quite a bit shorter now. Right? This is like all of the logic of the form. I mean, it looks like a lot more because my screen is like so zoomed in, right? Any questions on that?
So for my input,
For your input.
I just set for the input for the first name and last name. I just set the first name and the last name using the set first name function, and I just passed it e.target.value.
That's fine. Did you use state or use input?
I didn't use it. I used state.
Oh yeah, if you use state, then that's the way you would do it. Yeah. I'm just did use input because I'm making use of a custom hook that I thought made my workflow easier. But you would by no means need to use that. Okay, how are we feeling about hooks right now? Use state, use effect.
What does use history do?
Use history is the same as when we used to say this.props.history. Now we have that. So it comes with a variety of pieces of information and functions available to us. The push pushes us to a different page. Scroll down. To where?
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
So other people are like using this like same exact hook, right? So why don't they create a library of hooks? Like import it. What can we use?
For which hook are we talking about?
For like changing that
They're probably is. There are definitely hook libraries. If you look for hook libraries, you can find stuff. Part of the fun is writing your own hook, but yeah, there are people who have already written hooks for you. There's quite a few hooks. We're just learning like two today. Use state and use effect. We can learn more. Well, I guess we're learning use history there, and we learned use params. So we're up to like 4 hooks. React gives some more hooks. There's like a use ref, use memo, use callback. But these are the main ones that you use. Okay, so we've updated our person, our navbar, our movies, our login, our home, our form. We have our clock. Our dog is, I think, fine. So there's still dog app, dog by breed, and get dog selector. And we up for it? All right. So your task over the next half hour is to update the last 3 components to use hooks. Okay, we're almost there. Yeah, Henry. I will push. Yeah. Okay, let's work on that for the next half hour.